right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to this awesome channel. Today, we have an amazing guest, Dr. Elizabeth Lambert. She looks better right now at 65 than when I saw her a year ago at 64. She is thriving. So in this interview, we're going to talk about how to live your best life, how to thrive at any age, how to have great energy and look great on the outside as well. The whole package, everything. So stick around till the end. Let's hop into it. Hey, how's it going?
Mwah. I love you guys.
You're looking fabulous.
Thanks, sweetheart. You're looking fabulous too.
Thanks.
You look gorgeous.
I feel good. It's the raw food, right? But it's more than food. So we'll talk about that in
We're
this.
going to talk about that.
Yeah.
It's the energy. It's everything.
Yeah,
So-
the energy. So I wanted to start with that because
Okay.
we just met up with you today. You have so much energy. I always tell people
sweetheart.
you're the most energetic person I know, and you're 65 years young.
And here's the thing. She knows a lot of people. So for
Yeah.
you to say that is amazing. That's like the most beautiful compliment.
Right?
And having great energy
Yeah.
is everything.
It's
That's-
everything.
It's everything.
Yeah.
That's the secret. That's the secret sauce.
Because that's
great
more important than how we look on the outside. Like we want to feel our best.
You want to feel. And
on
when
the
you
inside.
feel the best, you're going to look the best.
Yeah, you radiate.
When you're radiant, you're beautiful, you're vital, you're
Yeah.
vibrant, all of that.
So
Yeah.
if we're not feeling great in our 40s, 50s, any age, like there is hope, right? We can get to this. So how do you have such like magnificent high level, like literally the highest level I've ever seen energy? And I'm
Thank
not
you,
even being
sweetheart.
dramatic, you guys. I'm not. I know her in real life. I've seen her. So what's the key? What's the secret here?
Well, it's interesting because I get asked this question all the time. As you know, on
Yeah.
social media,
Yeah.
I get asked this question every single day. And so what I decided to do is for decades, I have been practicing these keys, these principles, these habits that I'm doing. So I created, I'm so excited about this,
Yeah.
my 7-day reset program.
I'm so excited. And I'll put that down
Thank
below for
you.
you guys.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, 'cause
Amazing.
So here's the thing. It's about being able to put into practice these very small and very simple habits and keys. And when you do that, I know you've heard me say this a million times before.
Yeah.
Small changes equal miraculous results.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that. If you think about it, like if you're traveling in this direction here, you make one change in the trajectory. Instead of going this way, you're going to go that way. And if you make a couple of really small but powerful changes in your life, you'll change your whole life for the better. And what happens with people is once they begin to get a feel for the change, now they start getting excited, now they start getting passionate. They start reawakening to who they are. Most people have forgotten who they really are. Life gets heavy. I say this all the time, life is beautiful, but in that beauty, there's a lot of challenges in our day-to-day life. If we don't put these practices, these simple practices, these keys into place, what happens is that life can kind of push us down a little bit. But with these keys, so what I did was I created this 7-day reset program. And what I did was I literally outlined everything I do.
Good.
These are the principles.
Like all different areas, like working out, fitness, food, like that type of thing.
Everything, sleep,
Yeah.
everything. And if people just apply this, what's going to happen is they're going to start feeling better.
Yeah.
And they're going to start getting excited, and they're going to start saying, oh, let me practice this more. Let me do this more. Let me start doing this. And so I love the fact that I'm so excited that I created this. And so I want people to know they can just go to my website,
I'll put that
check
down
it
below
out.
for
You guys,
sure.
I want you guys to do this because what happened was I feel so wonderful, and I want everybody else to feel wonderful. And then what happened was I was noticing everybody around me started making these changes. First friends, family, and now I have a beautiful sweetheart who is the love of my life.
No
Right?
way. You do? I didn't know that. You
Which
met.
I have been manifesting for, if you guys have been following me for a while, they know I've been manifesting this for a really, really,
No
really long
way.
time.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. And he's extraordinary.
No
And we'll
way.
talk about him at the end.
Yeah.
I'll talk about love at the end.
Yeah.
And you can make it into a separate one, or you
Yeah.
can just keep it as
So what
as
are
this
some
one.
of your keys though? Like what are some
So
things you think people can do to like have this energy?
Well, first I have to tell you,
Yeah.
he's already in extraordinary shape and really, really fit. And what happened was, just by spending so much time with me, he started applying these principles. And it's incredible how much better he feels. And he was already amazing.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is really interesting. So if it's working for all the people around in my life, I really want to share this with everybody else in the world. So for everybody asking, you guys can go check it out, okay?
Yeah.
I promise you guys are going to love it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of these secret keys that I do.
Yeah.
So obviously, because you're all about this, food is certainly one of them.
It is.
And as you know, I have my Dr. Elizabeth's hierarchy of importance. And I would say food is right here at the bottom. You know Maslow's hierarchy of importance. So this is Dr. Elizabeth's hierarchy of importance. Food is here. It's imperative, it's really important, and it's the first step. So of course what we want to do, like I would say the biggest secret I would tell people, this is game changer for everybody. Let me give two. I'm going to give two tips, okay? To what's in the program. I'll give two tips. Yeah,
because people want to know, right? They get mad if we gatekeep. We can't gatekeep, or they'll be like, they get mad. They'll get mad. And I get that, because when I watch videos too, I want to know. Otherwise, you know, right?
And I'm happy. And you can go. I have, as you know, we have tons of content out there. And I share,
we do.
We share all of our secrets.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest secrets, if people can stop eating by around 6 p.m. If they can do that. But I know it's not easy to do. As you know, I'm a professional salsa dancer. I go out salsa dancing all the time. And, you know, a lot of times people will go out for the evening. They'll start their dinners late and they'll eat late. And what happens is you come home from that, you go to bed with all that food in your tummy. Your body is now busy digesting. It's not busy making your skin look good. It's not busy making the cells of your body look good. It's not busy rejuvenating your sex hormones, all of your beautiful hormones that make you feel good and make you look good and give more energy.
It's a big difference.
It's a huge.
I noticed that myself too.
It's a huge. So a lot of times what I notice, it's habits. People will just be in the habit of eating late. In fact, no one I noticed this. I was coaching a lot of people during quarantine. And when people, it's like, it's about setting up habits that you do. Like, you would never, ever leave the house without brushing your hair or brushing your teeth.
No.
You just would never do it. Me either. But people think, oh, I can eat late, this is one time. And so they don't develop it as a habit. What I've noticed when working with my private clients, once you make it, like, there's a clicking point that happens. And when you click over and you say, no matter what, this is what I'm going to do. Like the gym is like that for me. No matter what, I'm there 7 days a week. And you don't have to be there 7 days a week. But being there at least 5 days a week and getting yourself the exercise you need. It's like you make this deal with yourself. This is who I am and this is what I'm going to do. And when you make that commitment to yourself, there's no going back.
And you get more confidence too, like sticking to the discipline. And I feel like stopping eating before bed like that, it doesn't only benefit our energy and how we feel, but that's really like keeps you looking youthful too, right? It helps a lot with that too.
Not only that, it helps with the self-love because now you've made a commitment to yourself and you've kept that commitment. Now what happens is you go to make a commitment, let's say in your business, and you now know what it feels like to keep to the commitment of not eating before you go to bed. Now in your business, you're like, okay, I'm going to make 5 calls for this or this or this. So I'm going to go and, you know, whatever your business is, you make a commitment to that. It's easier for you to make that commitment and keep that commitment because you already have the experience and the self-love, the self-confidence, the self-worth, the self-esteem of fulfilling on that. So when you do that, it's everything. So you do that across the board in your life. It's the same thing in the gym. If you can just find the courage to go in the beginning, and it doesn't have to be the gym, just exercise. If you find the courage to step forward and do that, then what happens is that you get the confidence, oh, I did that. I can do this. And then you move forward with that.
And it trickles out in other areas of your life too.
Over to everywhere in your life.
And people bring up the self-love a lot on the channel. Do you think if we still are having some bad habits, like say just a cheat day now and then people have, let me drink a bottle of wine, let me drink a pizza, or like bad eating habits, do you think that's a lack of self-love? Do you think maybe we don't love ourselves if we're treating our body like that, or no? Do you think there's a connection with that? Because a lot of people I interview, they say if we really loved ourselves, we wouldn't like neglect ourselves like that or disrespect ourselves like that or eat those things that don't nurture us.
So this is a wonderful question. So first of all, I'm all about loving ourselves and supporting ourselves. The energy of being harsh, First of all, you know, on Dr. Elizabeth's energy scale, that energy vibrates at a very low frequency. So if you go into that energy, all you're going to do is make yourself worse. So if you mess up on something, if you skip a day at the gym, if you do something, the best thing you can do, the best self-loving thing you can do is say, okay, I did this. Now let's move forward. So you want to look at the big key. Like, I work with energy for a living. What I do is I go in, I find the false beliefs, I find the negative programming that are sitting in the subconscious, and I move that out of the way. And what happens is when you do that, the difference in manifesting what you want is the difference between trying to shove a bowling ball or a huge boulder up the mountain. That's if you're not clearing those false beliefs and negative programming. When you clear the false beliefs and negative programming, what happens is you start up here, awareness, consciousness. That's the top of Dr. Elizabeth's
And that's where we want to be, at the top.
So hang on. So right here, now what happens is when you shift up here, you shift the awareness, you shift the consciousness, all these choices we're talking about, they become easy because there's no blocks in the way. The false beliefs are gone. The negative programming is gone. When we clear that out of the way, what happens?
Yeah, well, we could have a lot of baggage, right? We clear this, and then we can manifest better, right?
So it's the key is to begin to have more awareness. When we do that, what we do is we clear all those false beliefs and negative programming out of the way. Then when you go forward to do something, there's no glass ceiling. There's nothing stopping you. So whoosh, you're just going to move forward.
And you feel like you've cleared out all the past.
Well, it's an ongoing process.
It's still a process. It's not a one-time thing.
Certainly, it's how I created the love of my life, is by clearing out the blocks. But let me go back, because this is important. I want everybody to know this, because these are good things for them to have awareness of. So what we do is we want to not beat ourselves up, first of all. So the first commitment I would ask people to make is be kinder to yourself, be more self-loving. And then you want to look at, why am I cheating? For me, with regard to food, my sweetheart asked me this the other day. He's like, well, when was the last time you had pizza? I was like, 45, 50 years, like a half a century ago was the last time I had pizza.
You can live without pizza, you guys. Wow.
But here's the thing, though. I love myself. I love living in a healthy, strong, fit, sexy body more than I love that bite of pizza. So it becomes easy. You could give me $10 million. I'm not going to have that pizza, because I love when I know people are just going, oh my God, you get paid for $10 million, Dr. Elizabeth. But for me, it's about a whole lifestyle, because if you cheat with that one day, then you're going to give yourself the latitude to cheat the next day.
It's a whole domino effect.
So let's talk about cheating with food, first of all, because most people talk about cheat days with food. Food is so amazing right now. And especially with living foods, they've created such incredible ways to eat food that you could, like in this refrigerator, we're going to go into the kitchen a little bit later, you guys. When we do, I have some yummy raw chocolate in there. So if I want a dessert, why am I going to get a chocolate cake that's from the store that's going to destroy my body, destroy my skin, destroy my beautiful hair? Like, why would I do that? Why would I do that? Instead, if I had the raw chocolate, so I don't need to cheat because I have all the secrets. So in my program, I share all the secrets.
That's the thing. It'd be different if all these amazing options weren't out there. And if it was just like, okay, if you're not going to eat the pizza and stuff, you have to eat just carrots and celery. No. But we have like all these amazing options. And you've been raw for a long time. We'll have to talk about that too in a bit. But yeah, for a long time. And that's, it does a lot.
So let me keep going with this, because I want people to really hear this. So I want them, so if you think about cheat days, yes, if you need to give yourself the latitude, but begin to think, what do I really want? Do I want to live in a body that is healthy, fit, and strong? And some people may not want that. They may like the food more, and then there's no judgment. But then they can't get upset with themselves if the body doesn't look the way they want it to look, or feel the way they want it to look. There's responsible choices that you make. How I look at it is, think about this. If I were to knock on your door, and I said, Gillian, here are, let's say, for you and your two beautiful babies, all expense paid, first class round trip tickets to anywhere you want to go, first class accommodations wherever you want to stay. All you have to do is pack up you and the babies, get yourself to the airport, and be there in the next, let's say, 8 hours or so.
Sure.
So are you going to get in your car and drive in the opposite direction of the airport if those tickets are waiting for you? So let's think of the airport and the tickets as a metaphor for ideal health, ideal radiance, ideal vitality, ideal like juicy, delicious, phenomenal, beautiful life, which is my intention for my life. Living at your highest, living at your best, expressing yourself, creating the most, like literally living the most extraordinary version of your own life in all 4 areas of life that I created: health, wealth, love, and career. So that is over here at the airport. If I want to, let's say, if for me, I'm not going to go 1 millimeter in the other direction. I'm going to, especially at 65, I'm going to go over here. But I've been doing that since I was a teenager, which is why it's like putting money in the bank. Every time you do something healthy for yourself, every time you do something good for yourself, every time you give to yourself, every time you're loving to yourself, every time you build your business, every time you create a loving relationship, in all areas of your life, every time you do this, you're putting equity into your bank account. So every time I've eaten healthy for my whole life, I've been eating healthy since I was 8.
Since you were 8.
And I was 8.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
Every time I do that, I'm putting money in. I'm putting equity into my account for myself.
Yeah.
So why would I go in the opposite direction?
Why?
It just doesn't make. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't serve you.
But for anybody, so for cheat days, you can do it, but you can create a life where you don't have to do it.
And you probably have no desire to, right? I don't. Do you?
I have no desire. But cheating, let's just say cheating's an interesting word. I want to look at that word energetically for a second. Cheating is, because I can, because I'm an intuitive.
Because you're an energy worker.
So
I know, I have to watch the words I use.
I love this girl so much. So let's look at that for a second. Cheating ourselves out of the best life, cheating ourselves out of the best health, cheating in a relationship which cuts you off from the intimate bond of creating a connection, body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit. You put cheating into an intimate relationship where you're connected deeply, body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit. You've just taken like a piece of poo-poo and put it in there and just stunk up the whole place. So when you look at that word cheating, why would you cheat on yourself? Why would you cheat on your love? Why would you cheat on your career? Why would you cheat on your health and well-being? Why would you cheat on your spiritual evolution? Like, doesn't make any sense. So for me, if people want to have a cheat day, to me, it just never made any sense. So to answer your question,
me too. Yeah,
it just doesn't make any sense. I would rather, but then again, it just depends upon people's priorities and what they want.
Yeah.
And listen, if somebody needs something like a little crutch along the way to create what it is that they want, they can do that. The problem, so here's the thing. I'm looking at this energetically again. The cheat is the cheat day. So if you're going to, let's say the cheat day is eating some food that isn't really healthy. All that's done is taken you 10 steps back. Now you have to go those 10 steps again. And if you want to go forward, you're going in the wrong direction. So
and it just makes life harder, right? Like, do you think you'd be where
everything.
you're at if you didn't have healthy food habits?
If I didn't have all healthy habits, I wouldn't know. Well, but it started when I had the courage to leave a profession that I wasn't fulfilled at.
Dental, right?
That was not
I cannot
leaving a
doctor. I cannot picture you in a dental office all day.
No, I left a profession that was not
I think you'd have a
fulfilling.
lot of customers. People would be coming in, they'd be like, we just feel good around Elizabeth. Let's get our teeth cleaned.
But
Right? But
it
no,
wasn't
you left.
fulfilling.
Yeah,
And
we
I
have to
left
do
it.
what's fulfilling, what
You
feeds our soul and follow our
have
purpose.
to.
That's the key to like, I know you don't like the word, that's the key to aging because you don't like that word.
No, it's
so
okay.
like living our
Healthy.
best life at any decade as our decades change and go up in numbers. Like any age, that's the key, right? That's so huge. We follow and be open to it changing because you were open to it changing. You didn't stay stuck in the dental profession.
Well, here's my point that I was going to say is if I'd stayed there, if I had, first of all, we wouldn't be sitting here if I had stayed there.
No.
If we had stayed there, I would look about 150 years old. I'm not kidding.
No, I know. Because when people are doing what they love, they,
Oh my
what's it called?
goodness.
They what? So what term do you use instead?
You can see it in
Yeah,
you can
their
see
face
in
and
their
their,
face. I put
and their
a
happiness and
I put a picture of me side by side. It's a picture of me in the office. I'm in my mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
I'm in my coats. I'm sitting there like just, someone snapped a picture of me in the office.
Yeah.
And then I took a picture of me, I think I was almost 60, in a swimming pool in a bikini. Vibrant, like alive, like just so happy. And I put those two pictures side by side. If you look carefully at my eyes in the picture of me in the dental office, you could see the little flames of my soul like going
Wow,
out.
because you weren't doing what you love and you were stressed, right?
And I knew there was something greater. And so that's the thing with people. I would say, have the courage to go after what you love. That's
at
my
any
other
age,
at
right?
every age. Listen,
or
I'm
even what if
starting-
it's risky though? What if somebody's like, I'm not happy in this profession. I want to follow my passion, but the money's not there. It's a high risk. Like, how would you handle that type of situation?
It's a great question. Life is risky.
I think when you take the
is
risk,
risky.
you follow your heart, follow your passion, like the abundance just comes probably more than you can
I'm gonna
imagine
share
in most
this.
cases, right?
I'm going to share this with you. If you're not doing what you love, you might even be making the money, but it doesn't stay, it doesn't flow, life doesn't flow, it shows on your face, it shows in your health, it shows in your gut, it shows in every aspect of you. You're not happy in your relationships, you're not happy in your families, you're not happy across the board, and you're not happy in that career. When you pick what you want, everything flows. Yes, the money comes, but and money's important.
Because we're lit up on the inside, we're
but
happy on the inside, right? That's a
everything-
reflection.
Everything else flows. Everything else flows. I guarantee you I wouldn't have been able to pick the right partner if I had been in that career. He wouldn't have been interested in me. He loves what I do. He's like, and he's an extraordinary entrepreneur himself and a wonderful, wonderful man, but he loves what I do.
And
He's
you
like,
do
"This
too.
is
So if somebody
I
wants to attract
love."
somebody who's super loving, super happy, super in their passion, in their purpose, then they essentially have to become that, right? Then we attract that and we mirror that in our relationships, right?
The best way to attract what you want across the board is by being what you want. If you want someone healthy, be healthy. If you want someone loving, be loving. If you want someone kind, be kind. If you want somebody successful, create your own success. Don't go, I'm going to go marry that over there. Create it yourself. And then what happens is you magnetize what you're being to you in all aspects of your life.
Yeah. So how can we be love and how can we choose love and be love in every situation when we do live in a world where sometimes things can happen, things come at us, even though we probably attract all that anyway, right? We're creating everything, right? But how can we embody more love? Because that's the key.
That's a great question.
That's the most important thing in this universe, right?
Okay.
And I think if we can get that down pat, then our whole life can change.
So it's a great question. So how do we create love?
We feel it, we be it.
Well, let me share.
Yeah.
You're so cute. She's like rapid fire, boom, 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 which I love. You are brilliant at what you do, my dear.
Thank you. And I love it.
You love it and you're brilliant at it, and it shows in all the success you have.
Thanks.
So, love. The greatest way to do it is be love, but a lot of people are like, well, how do I be love? The first thing to do is cultivate awareness and consciousness. You have to begin to do that, because otherwise, watch this. Somebody's in a relationship. Relationships are by nature of the design of the universe. Two souls come together as a conduit for healing. All the rest is cherries and whipped cream on the sundae. They come together to heal, to heal their deepest wounds. If you have two unconscious people, and what happens is you're going to be attracted to, the universe is going to design it to bring exactly what's there for you to heal. Exactly. So you bring someone in. Let's say you take two really unconscious people. Love, 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 stars in the eyes, hearts in the eyes. You hit the first boom, boom, speed bump.
Shit hits the fan, right?
So let me keep going. So what happens if they are unconscious and unaware and have done zero work on themselves, they're going to go right into all their poo-poo. all of it, and it's going to just, and the whole thing's going to explode. It's not going to work. Now you take one conscious person, one unconscious person. That's really a disaster because it's going to tear the conscious person up, and that conscious person is going to have to leave because the unconscious person is going to be so full of fear, they're going to destroy the relationship. You take two highly conscious people, fall madly in love, everything's going boom, boom, speed bump. What they do is now they have the tools to be able to navigate because they know themselves. They spent a lot of time healing, which is what I do for a living. Healing, and they also spend a lot of time becoming more aware and more conscious, which is what I do. I work with couples all the time. I love working with couples because they hit a blind spot and they can't see, but they can see they love each other very much. So I start clearing. Okay, here, over here. When you were young, this happened with your mother or father. Boom, boom, over here, over here. And now they can actually relate and see each other. But with two conscious people, what happens is that they have far more awareness to be able to navigate. The speed bumps are going to happen. This is life. If you don't want the speed bumps,
that's why we're here too. We're not in heaven where everything's good.
Be
There's
a
things
non-physical being if you don't want that. We come into this physical world to have this. But the thing is, when you have that awareness and consciousness, you can navigate. I have my next book, which I've already started designing. It's called 15 Seconds to Love. And I talk about I manifested love at 65. You know,
see, that's amazing. Some people can get down or think in their 40s they haven't met anybody 50s, and so that's amazing. Tell us how you did it.
You know, like, remember the movie When Harry Met Sally? I think it was the movie where they say, they had that phrase, when a woman over 30 or 40 is more likely to get hit by lightning than to manifest the love of her life.
Oh, wow.
That's a line in the movie. And it's a joke. It's kind of like I've been dealing with on Instagram. I do these reels of me running around in a bikini because these girls are messaging me at 25 saying, Dr. Elizabeth, they're telling me I'm expired. I'm like,
what? Yeah, right.
Expired? Excuse me, I'm 65. I'm just getting started.
Girls, wow, you're such an inspiration.
But here's the thing. It's all about, if you're in your, which is what my radiance course is all about, how to step into your vibrancy, how to step into your radiance, how to step into your greatest life. Most people, they give up. They leave school. They never study anything ever again in their life. How do you do that? It's time to learn. We can be learning our whole life. It's the same thing with expanding and getting better our whole life. If you're committed to being better and better and better in every way, you will manifest love at any age. So in the book, I talk about all these things. So stay tuned, guys, because it's coming up very, very soon. But I want to go back to what we were saying before about right before we did the love, we were onto something else, and it was big. I think we wrapped up about the cheating. I think the cheat days, we wrapped about that. But and we'll do manifesting love in a minute. But I want to talk. If it's okay with you.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
I'd love to talk because I get this question asked all the time by women. How do you have so much energy?
That's what I want to talk about.
How do you look, and more importantly, feel like this? I think I'm more vibrant now at this age. You know how I put those before and after pictures on, and it has to do with what's going on the inside, and that's an inside job. So what I love to share with people and teach people is how they can actually go within and create more radiance, how to create more vibrancy, how to do all that, and also tap into their feminine nature. And this is what I created a course, which I'm very excited about, called the Radiance Factor. And it's for women, and it teaches women, because a lot of women, they buy into what society is telling them. And what happens is they begin to be fearful about age. And once fear enters into anybody's space, fear will age you. Fear will pull you down. Fear is going to make everything heavy. So if they can begin to clear that and realize, one, that you're just beginning, and the sky's the limit. You can have and be whatever you want. And then two, you can you have the capacity to step into your radiance. Radiance is what radiates out from the inside. That's the most important part.
That's the most important.
If you took two identical twins, both gorgeous, identical twins, one is just beautiful on the outside, but one's beautiful radiating from the inside out, they're not going to look the same. They really aren't. You're going to look at the two of them and you're going to go, and people might not be able to put their finger on what it is, but they're going to gravitate and be drawn to the one with all this light force coming, radiating out of them. So that's what I teach in the Radiance course, is how do you tap into that? That's her superpower. That's her whole, when she can learn how to do that, she will be undeniable at every age.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw that. I remember I was salsa dancing, and I was at the promenade. We were all these beautiful women, all ages, spinning and dancing around and having a great time. And I stopped for a second, and I looked at everybody. I was like, they all look stunningly beautiful because they're in their joy. I have, one of my secrets is I created something from working with my clients called the JLF factor, which stands for, and this is in the Reset program. So if you guys are interested, it's called the joy factor, the love factor, and the fun factor. And the JLF factor is key for people to have an extraordinary life. It's like, that's like the secret sauce. If you have that, like you have that, you have the joy, you have the love, you have the fun, because you're creating a life that you love. When people can begin to tap into that, but most people don't do that, and then what happens? Oh, this is the question you asked me. You asked me about what if people are afraid to go do what they love. This ties into that. You can be afraid your whole life. At the end of summits, I've been with a lot of people who are making their transition, and at the end of their life, now one of those individuals is talking about, gosh, I'm so happy I was scared. That protected me from everything I wanted.
Never.
They're like, I'm so happy at this moment as I'm ready to make my transition to my next expansion, to my next adventure. I'm so happy I was brave enough and courageous enough to take a step forward. There's not a moment in an hour, in a day, in a month, in a year that I have for 1 second regretted that I had the courage to leave the life that I was not fulfilled in. Across the board. Across the board. And even with love, I told my sweetheart, I said, I'm so happy that I had the courage to wait for great love. Great love. I could have settled.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, rather than settle, right?
Rather than
if you're
settle.
settling, you're not leaving the space for that person to come in, right?
Goodness. And then in that time, I worked on myself. So I was ready for great love.
You just focused on yourself.
Focused on myself, focused on my business, focused on creating myself to be what would be a match with what I was calling in.
Yeah.
So what I would tell people if they're listening here is, if you can begin, and I'm going to talk about how we can do this. If you can begin, I say this in my book, be willing to be open to the possibility of having the courage to say yes where you've previously been saying no. And if you do that, what happens is if you do it once, then what happens is it gets easier and easier and easier. Now, for me, it's not to say that it doesn't come up and I don't get scared. That's the thing. I want you guys to understand. You're going to get scared. Fear is a part of it, but it's what do you do with that? Do you make the courageous choice, or do you stay in the fear? Staying in the fear never gets you what you want. Ever, ever, ever. But if you can be creative, right? You know this firsthand with what you're creating and what you have created. And I know you've gone through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and things that give me fear, and I've pushed through, and then it makes me grow. I get over the fear, right?
And then it makes the next step easier.
And then you evolve.
And then you evolve to the next and the next. So if you can have the courage, so the gift I would give everybody listening here is have the courage in this moment. Just one little step. Like let's say they don't have to, let's just say, let's use going to the gym, because it's intimidating for a lot of people. I mean, I grew up being athletic. I come from 2 athletic parents. My grandfather was a physical education teacher. There's a picture of me. If I can find it, I'm going to send it to you for B-roll. Yeah. But I'm 8 months old. He's holding me by my feet and balancing me, like working my core in the air, holding me like this. He used to do that all the time. Every time he saw me, he did that. He was building up my core when I was that young. So I'm fortunate I come from that. That's an easy wheelhouse for me to be in. Yeah. But if somebody is apprehensive about moving their body in a way like for exercise, I would say take one step that makes you feel a little uncomfortable, just one. And when you do that, reward yourself and say, it's almost like, I'm so proud of myself. I did that. I'm really proud of myself. And then you take the next step, and then the next step gets easier, and then the next. So if we continue to do that, we're going to turn back around and go, wow, I just created the life of my dreams.
Wow.
So that's what I would tell people. If you don't have to do the whole thing. Just take one step.
One step at a time.
One step at a time.
Yeah. Okay. And I want to touch on femininity too. Do you want to talk about that?
Yes.
Is that part of like manifesting your love and like you think an important thing as a woman, or like a man maintain their masculinity, women and their femininity? You think it's important for us?
So we have to define first. Okay. Let's break down a couple things first. There are feminine essence women, which are I would say 90% of the women, 80-90% of the women are feminine essence women. You're a feminine essence woman. Ashley over there is a feminine essence woman. I'm a feminine essence woman. Then there are masculine essence men. And these lovely men right here, masculine essence men, my sweetheart, masculine essence man. If that's the case, in the relationship, the man brings the masculine energy, the woman brings the feminine energy. Now, there are going to be times when he says, sweetie, do this, or you do that, and all of that. And you're going to kind of lean on each other that way. But if the woman is coming in, especially these days, because there are so many women who are running their own businesses. So I just want to share.
Yeah.
Actions are either feminine by nature or masculine by nature.
Okay.
Masculine is giving. Masculine is holding a strong space. Masculine is like protecting, professing, providing. This is masculine strength energy. Feminine is receiving. Feminine is like the wind. It's like the ocean. It's ever moving, it's ever flowing, and it's ever receiving. Mothering is a masculine activity.
Really?
You would think it's
true,
feminine,
yeah.
but you're not receiving when you're being a mommy.
No,
you're
you are giving everything you got.
everything from your breasts to your life to your
Everything.
everything.
True.
You're giving. So think about a woman today. She's giving as a mother, if she is a mother. She's giving in her business, if she's creating a business and doing, or work or whatever she's doing. So for women to get rejuvenated, they have to give themselves permission to be in the feminine energy. So if she comes home and tries to be in the masculine energy that she runs as a mommy or she runs in her business, first of all, she's married or is with a masculine essence man, they're going to clash.
They're going to clash.
Because like these lovely men right here said, Kevin and Marcus are like, that's not going to play. Like
that's when problems can happen, right? When they clash, when there's not the balance of the femininity and masculinity, even though we're like in 20 whatever the decade.
I give this example. If your sweetheart's taking, you guys are going out for the evening, and he comes around to open up the door, let him open up the door for you. Don't give him
Rather
this.
than be like, it's 2024, I got it.
Oh, and she says, I can do it myself. He knows she can do it by herself. She's got hands. She has arms. She can take the door and open it up.
Yeah.
It's a chivalrous, I know I'm going to get some pushback on this, but we're going to get some pushback on it, but that's okay. The men in this room are going to agree with this. And listen, if you want a relationship with a masculine essence man,
well, that's what I like to have too, a balance of that in a relationship, right? Masculine and feminine. It's in our nature too, right? For most cases, if somebody wants otherwise, then fine. But
let's stay with this first, because there's more to say.
Yeah.
On this. And then we'll go into the other, because there is the other. But let's stay with this for a second. So, with regard to that, when you let him be the masculine energy, two things happen. One, you've just given him life because he wants to be in the masculine energy. Two, you've given yourself life because when we are given to as feminine essence women, it fuels us. Think about what happens when you take a bath. It's just light your candles and take a bath. These are feminine essence activities. These are beautiful activities. Being with your sweetheart and letting him be the masculine, letting you be the feminine. Making love, the same thing. These are all beautiful activities. When you can let your masculine essence man give to you, you're refilling up. You know how they talk about that, fill up your cup. This is how you do it, because you're going to be, the energy gets utilized and drained when you're giving and being a mommy, giving being in your business, giving being giving out in the world, giving. So allow your intimate relationship, allow the men in your life, allow that to fill you up, because what happens is that's a way of giving back to yourself. So it actually heals you and fills you up and nurtures you. And most women don't realize that. So when they can be in their feminine essence, they're actually giving to themselves, and their beautiful men are giving to them. So that's powerful. So that's with feminine essence women, masculine essence men. So, and a lot of times the hardest thing for the woman to do is to allow herself to be given to, especially if you have been a single woman out in the world doing everything yourself for a long time. I remember I was traveling with my sweetheart, and I've been traveling by myself for a very, very long time. I haul my own suitcases. I've done it for a long time. The first thing he did was grab my bag and grab my suitcase. I literally was like,
Totally. Yeah.
I was just,
This is so nice.
I was like, this is amazing. And he was like, sweetheart, this is what, get used to it. This is how a woman gets treated. And it's amazing. So all that to say, when we allow ourselves to be given to, it's wonderful for the relationship, and it's wonderful for us to do that. But it's not easy. So what it's going to take is, if two people are in a beautiful relationship, what you want to do is you talk about these things. And if it's two conscious people, then you work your way through this. The hardest thing for the woman, though, who's been handling everything by herself, is to begin to go, okay, let me allow myself to be given to. But that's where she really flourished. I am flourishing far more in my business with this beautiful man in my life than I ever did by myself.
Interesting. By letting go and getting in that energy.
And allowing, there's so much support there if you let it, and vice versa, and on both ends. It's a matter of allowing the two, the masculine and the feminine, to give to each other in the ways that they want to. So now, I just want to touch on this because it's not as significant, and not very many people are this way. There are masculine essence women and feminine essence men. Not a lot, but that's Mr. Mom. He's the one who stays at home, and a masculine essence woman a lot of time will want a feminine essence man. So those relationships do exist as well. But predominantly, it's feminine essence women, masculine essence man. So a woman, and so let's think about this as well. Let's talk about radiance for a second. A woman wants to be radiant and beautiful, youthful and sexy at every age, right? That's what, that's the tagline of the book, to my book, How to Be Undeniably Radiant, Beautiful, Youthful and Sexy. Women, and of course, those terms are different for each individual. Those specific terms are different. But allowing yourself the gift of radiance gives that to us. So you've seen women where they're not allowing themselves to receive. The term that we use is they look haggard, don't they? They don't glow, they don't radiate. There's not an inner glow coming from the inside because they're completely depleted. So when we allow ourselves to be filled up, and when we allow ourselves, and also it infuses into our business as well, which is what I was saying to really, really well. So just allowing ourselves the gift is how we do this. Like, how do you give yourself the gift of radiance? And because that is what's going to, radiance in a woman is what makes people go, it's her light, it's her life force, and it makes people want to gravitate to them.
Wow, beautiful.
That's what brings them to them. So that's what I would say about that.
I love that. Okay, and do you want to touch on manifesting? Any tips for how you specifically manifested your man? Because I know a lot of people out there would love to manifest a man or woman, and you know,
absolutely. And I thank you for asking that question. I think it's a really, really good question. So I think the most important thing, and one of the most important things I had to go through, is to hold the vision of what you want. This man who I manifested is everything I want, and then some. Like, I'm like, baby, I didn't even think to ask for this and this and this and this.
Wow.
So what it is it's about knowing what you want. And then it's about putting your focus and attention first on yourself and developing whatever qualities you want in them, developing them in yourself.
Truly,
Really do that. And there are ways to do that. There are ways to develop more capacity for love. Like spend more time with your friends, spend more time in the energy of love. And because what happens with most people, I can speak because I'm a woman. I'll speak to it as a woman, but I'm sure this happens to men as well, but really as a woman. Any individual who's looking to create an intimate, loving relationship and has been wanting to do it for a while, what happens is they get into the energy of it not happening instead of the energy of it happening. And the moment we put our energy on what's not happening, whatever we focus on is what we're going to manifest, whether we want it or not.
I know.
So if you're in the energy of, why isn't this happening? When's this going to happen to me? And then, of course, like outside forces, people are saying, why isn't this happening? Why are you not, why are you not having it? If you allow yourself to get swept into that energy, what's going to happen is you're now going to be focusing on what you don't want.
That's what you hear so many people say. Oh, I forgot about it. I gave up on love. I decided like I'm done, and then boom, right?
Well, it's interesting.
They're like, oh, I met the love of my life.
It's funny because I was just having a conversation about this. The nature of them forgetting about it did bring it in, but in a convoluted way. You don't have to forget about it. Instead, because you can keep your focus on it, but instead you don't want to focus on the absence of it, because that's what when they say they took their energy off of it, what they were doing was they stopped saying, why isn't it here? Why don't I have love? Why isn't God? Why aren't you bringing this to me? God, universe, why aren't you bringing this to me? It's never going to happen to me. And they start spinning around in that energy. They think they took their attention off of it. What happened was some other thing came in and took their attention. Either a new job, a new friend, a new hobby, something grabbed their energy, so they stopped complaining about what they don't have. And therefore, by nature of that phrase, just take your attention off of it and you'll manifest it, is not the correct phrase. The correct phrase is, you can utilize putting your attention other places, but the real thing is stop focusing on what you don't have. And you do that by putting your focus on either what you want, or if it's too difficult, put your focus on yourself, put your focus on your career, put your focus on your friends. When you do that, that's when it catches you. But I never for me, I didn't manifest it by taking my focus off of it. I manifested it by stop saying to the universe, oh my God, I was single for a long time.
Really?
I was dating, but I was single. I had not met, because I wasn't willing to go into a relationship that wasn't extraordinary. I have an extraordinary life. I like that. It's fabulous life.
Yeah.
I wasn't willing to settle for just anything, because I didn't want to be alone.
And you're glad you waited, right?
Oh my God, I'm so glad I waited. So I wasn't interested in that. So I had been single for a very long time. So what I did was I stopped putting my attention on, for God's sakes, when's it going to get here? And instead, I put my focus on...
You were doing a course, you were doing this,
doing that. And I was creating every aspect of my life, including what I did do. I give people tools on how they can keep their attention on what they want. That's key. That's really, really key, because most people don't know how to do that. So what I did was I showed people in my courses on the Radiance Factor and also 7-Day Reset program. I literally walk them through how to keep their focus on what they want and take it off, and so they don't go into discouragement, they don't go into what they don't want, because that's going to keep them from what they want. So for me, every single morning, before I ever got out of that beautiful bed right there, every single morning, I woke up and I looked at in all 4 areas of life. What do I want to create in health? Perfect health.
When you wake up in the morning.
I wake up in the morning. What do I want to create in health? What do I want to create in wealth? And what do I want to create in love? And what do I want to create in career? Then I start feeling into what that is. Then I get so excited about it, I actually can feel it. I can feel it, and including the love. Feel this man. Tune into this. Feel what it's like.
And it's working. Look, like your life is going great, right? You met the love of your life. Social media is going great. Everything.
Ding.
Yeah. Way to go. Way to go. Well, we can learn a lot from you.
Right?
Yeah.
So
you're funny. Yeah.
And
fitness. Yeah.
And that's the key, though. The key, because most people are so afraid they're going to, oh, this is deep. This is a deep download I'm getting right now. Most people are so afraid of what they don't want that they keep their focus on it to push it away. And what that does by the laws of the universe, it brings it right to you. Instead, have the courage to keep your focus on what you really want. And the hard part for people is it's not there yet. When I was in my bed dreaming,
It's okay. I was just thinking you should have been in The Secret. I could see you being like, in that movie.
Let's manifest the next secret.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to start seeing that. I'm already manifesting my TED Talk, actually.
I love it.
I have it already
you
visioned.
need to do a TED Talk.
I'm going to do a TED Talk.
It's happening.
So I would see and feel this man and feel the experience of this man and the qualities this man has.
So how can we feel it if we have a hard time? Like, we know what we want.
It's a great
and
question.
We can visualize it, put it on a board or whatever, but sometimes we just have a hard time tapping into like that feeling, right? Or maybe picturing it in our head. Sometimes we have a hard time.
These are the tips that I outline in my, these are the tips I outline. So I'm going to give people just one thing. So you don't have to make a big leap. It just starts really, I really want people to hear this. I really want you guys to hear this. If they can, because think back to your own life and a big step you made. The moment you decided you were going to be willing to open up to this, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to. I'm going to tell you. I never told this story to you before, so I'm going to tell you this story. I'm going to tell a story from my own life on how I did this. When I was in, so let me finish the sentence. I'm going to tell a story to help them. So the moment it's like a click happens. You make the decision, you go from, I don't know, I don't think I can, and you click over into yes. And then you don't worry about the how, you say the yes. So I'm gonna tell you a story about this. If they can do, and practice it with little things. So I already told you the story of how I became a professional dancer at 40, right? I told you that one. And I was willing to be open to the possibility of it. And what happened was a girlfriend of mine took me out, and I met somebody who invited me to dance. And before you know it, within a couple months, I was dancing professionally. Crazy. Crazy. Now, fast forward, I'm 49, getting ready to turn 50. I'm doing what you're doing right now.
Yeah, you were doing interviews, right?
And I literally was like, this is it. I've landed. I was happy doing it, loving doing it. And I was about ready to turn 50. And I was really like, I was just looking, what are my next steps? And a girlfriend of mine who was an intuitive gifted me for my 50th birthday a reading from somebody. And so the first thing, so in my mind, I'm already thinking we're going to talk about my next steps to interviewing. Like that's, I was already, I came into it like, this is what we're doing.
Like, this is it.
First thing she says, Gillian, the first thing she says, you're a speaker and you're going to be on stage speaking. And she gave in six months. She literally said that. You're a speaker, you're going to be on stage in 6 months. It blew my fuse because I'm an interviewer. I interview speakers.
Yeah.
I'm not. And the crazy thing, so I'm going to tell you. So I literally, in my mind, and this is what I want people to hear, and this is what I want them to, this is the gift. This is that you asked for a tip. This is the tip. I made the conscious choice from saying, no, I'm an interviewer. And like holding on to it, like relentlessly, like a lot of people, what they would do is go, no, I'm a no, and try to convince the person getting the reading from the divine, no.
Yeah.
Instead, what I did was I said, I let it go. And I said, let me hear what she has to say and let me be willing to be open to the possibility of saying yes to something I had been previously saying no to. So I heard it. She continued to talk. I took it in. I didn't know how. I took it in. Fast forward, I'm at an event.
Your stories, I love them. All your life stories are like this. I love it because you go with the flow. You're open. You're receptive. You're not just like, let's BS. I'm not a speaker. What's wrong with this person?
That's the secret.
You realize sometimes the universe, God is speaking to us through other people, right?
And that's what I do with my clients now, speaking to them for other people. So here's what happens. Someone comes up to me, and I was dancing at the time quite a bit. And this person says, I would like you and your dance troupe to come in and perform at this speaking event that's going on. Gillian, swear to God. Just because I was willing to take in the information that this person gave me and started taking it into my heart, started thinking about it, started like owning it, before I even had the chance to know the words coming out of my mouth, I didn't think this consciously. This divine spoke this through me. I said, I'm a speaker. Let me speak at your event. I speak about health and well-being. I'm turning 50, and here
And it went well?
It launched my career. It launched my speaking career. It launched my book. It launched everything. 5,000 people there.
Wow.
Like I thought it was like a little couple hundred, and not that it's still wonderful.
No, it's a lot of people though,
A lot
right?
of
It's
people.
different when it's a couple hundred. It's
But
5,000.
I was willing. I was willing to be open. And in that moment, and he looked at me and he said, "You're 50?" I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "You have a lot to say." I said, "Yes, I do." And before you knew it, there I was, like Dr. Elizabeth Lambert on the agenda, and I spoke at that event.
And it felt right. It felt like that's what you were meant to be doing.
Completely. So to wrap all this up, I just want people to realize the secret is if they, I'll give them the tips. One, if they can be willing, miracles can happen in the willingness, if they can just be willing. So instead of being no, if you're no, look, that's closed off. The universe can't get in there. We have free will. If you're willing, like this much, guys, that much willingness, whoom, the universe can sweep in and create miracles in your willingness. So be willing, shift from the no to the, let me just be open, and then begin to, and there's lots of tips I give in my course on how, on the 7-day reset, on how to cultivate more awareness. There's a lot of that in there to help people, which helps us, because if we have more awareness, we'll catch ourselves and go, oh, look, wait, hang on a second.
Okay, that's
So they'll go, oh, look, I'm thinking about what I don't want instead of what I do want. I call it flipping the switch. You can begin to flip the switch, which is another concept I teach in my course. You flip the switch, and in flipping the switch, what happens is now you can catch yourself and go, like I was doing, let me put my focus on my sweetheart. Let me stop thinking about him not being here. Let me focus on him being here. Let me focus on the feeling. What does it feel like to have him? Let me expand that. Let me be in that. And that's best done first thing in the morning when you first come out of, you're just coming out of that rich space, that sleep time in the divine, communing with the divine, and when you the last thing before you go to bed at night. If you can do it then you take that into your sleep time, and then magic can happen.
History. Yeah,
Magic
that's a
can
powerful
happen.
time. I know that.
Magic can happen.
Yeah.
So now we're going to talk about, why don't you ask me about you were talking about the concept of being, you said, you said you're just in your prime. You said something.
No, I was saying like you're in your prime, but I feel like we should always be in our prime. Maybe that's what you're inspiring me to think,
So exactly. And I love that you brought this up, because the biggest challenge the biggest detriment people do to themselves is they begin to think of themselves, and I never use this word, as OLD. And people think I'm being cute and trite and silly and all that kind of, I'm not. I'm serious as a heart attack with this. This is very...
that word. Yeah.
That's true. That's right. Okay, how about this? Cut that out, Kevin. I am very intentional
About the
that,
vocabulary you use.
about the book. And the word,
like I was
actually.
filming with Lou Corona the other day, and he showed me with this strength test when you use certain words, like when he was holding my hands as tight as holding the hands really tight, I was trying to like get my strength, and when he would use positive words, I would say like love, or he would say them in positive words, like the strength was there, but then when he would say like hate, like the body weakened. So these words literally weaken us, right? It's crazy.
So let's talk for a second about that word. People, and it happens to people at different times. Some people start thinking they're old at 20 or 25. Some people at 30.
I hear people in their 20s say that. I'm like, what?
Some people, but they really think it. And some people in their 30s, some people in their 40s, some people in their 50s, but pretty much everybody in their 50s and 60s, and even 40s, they think this. So the first thing I invite people to do is shift. I am going to, you said about being in my prime. I see myself as being in my prime until the last breath I take on this earth. That's just the way I'm operating. So because of that, the cells of my body, which have intelligence, will respond to that. They listen to that, they respond to that.
They hear what we say and respond.
And they actually respond then. And so they keep me healthy and vital and youthful and vibrant and all of that. So I would invite people trite and silly as it might sound, it actually is very deep and very intentional to begin to look at how you look at yourself. And can you take that word out and use the word young instead? I'm 65 years young. Because if you think about that, if I say I'm 65 years young and I use that word, I have more youthfulness than someone 25. I literally have decades more youthfulness in my equity, in my bank account than someone who's 25.
True.
So I've been building all that youthfulness up. And also, if you think about that, what are the possibilities for your life? When I go salsa dancing, there's no one my age around.
Really?
They're all in their 20s. And they're like, I'm tired.
They're like, you're out dancing me. No, I believe
I am. And that's because of the energy. And it's also about the mindset.
The mindset,
so mindset
the energy.
is really
the
important.
mindset, the energy, the food too. So we have to get in really quick. What do you eat in a day? Because they'll ask me. If you could just say quick, because they'll want to know an update. They want to know.
And I do have, food is a big part. So the first thing I do, without fail, I've been doing it for decades, is I start with the raw green juice and then a superfood smoothie. And so that is key.
Key for you.
Key. So I would just say for people, instead, I mean, the other thing is too, like, I don't drink coffee. I never had a cup of coffee in my life.
Never in your life?
Not one cup of coffee in my whole life.
Wow.
Coffee is dehydrating. It depletes us. It causes people to hold excess weight. And I know there's a lot of studies that say coffee is good, but let's just do this for a second. In fact, I want everybody watching to do this too. If they close their eyes and in their mind's eye put out an image, let's just say on the left side, of a green juice. Then on the other side, let's see something you just picked up from one of the coffee houses. I won't pick on one of the coffee houses. I'll just, any of the above, you guys, any of the above. And I want everybody to tune into the energy of the green juice. Now, for me, I'm looking at that green juice. That green juice is going. It's like it's vibrating. Look at the energy of the coffee. It looks dead. It doesn't give you any life.
Yeah, my cameraman just chugged a coffee before we got here. But no, I know what you mean though. I feel the energy sometimes from the coffee houses. No, I'm joking.
Oh, poor Kevin. We're always picking on Kevin.
I'm joking. He's amazing. I love him.
Kevin
I'm joking.
is
I'm joking. No, but I know what you mean with the energy. Sometimes I feel the energy coming off the coffee houses. Then you see I totally, it's an energy thing.
And here's the other thing. Let's talk about coffee for a second, because this is a really interesting conversation. The manipulation that has been created around the branding of coffee, if people can just take that away and then make the decision for themselves on what they want to do. And they may still decide to do it, but think about it. Coffee houses, like, they've spent billions on creating the image that coffee is associated with waking up, which it is not. Socializing, success.
Energy boost, success.
Think about this. Let's go to the coffee house. Here, I have the water here, but let's see if it was a coffee. Here, especially for young girls, on Instagram especially. Here's the young girl. She's a boss babe. She's a boss babe. She's got her coffee. She's made it.
She's made it.
She's made it because she can afford the $10. Now I'm being
it's probably
very
20
facetious.
Now.
I know I'm being facetious, and I don't want to be facetious.
No.
But I'm drawing it out. But the point is, and I know it's not just young girls listening. I know it's a lot of different people listening. I want them to be able to step back and go, oh, have I been manipulated by the media into thinking I need coffee to wake up, when a green juice that we're going to make in the kitchen coming up here is going to electrify me and give me so much more energy.
You don't have vices. Do you ever get drunk or have a cigar or have a cigarette on the terrace or have a croissant or a Boston cream donut? Like, there's no vices, right? Me too.
Don't. Well, it's interesting.
No things you run away with that like get you high or get you you know what I mean?
Meditation my work gets me high.
Meditation. I got to get into meditating.
The process that I do with my private clients, the deep work that I do, the clearing, I do it for myself every day. Meditate, chant, clear. I do that every single day.
Chanting out loud?
Chanting out loud.
Yeah.
That's what gets me high. Like,
I love it. No, I love it.
So think about this. If I was an avatar, right? Like you know how Avatar, they took their tail and they plugged it into the tree of life. Remember that? Remember how they did that?
No, but yeah.
they got their life force from their tree of life there. They literally took their tails. In the movie Avatar, they took their tails.
I didn't see it. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't see the movie?
No.
Oh, it's a beautiful movie.
Okay, I have to see it.
So, and what happens is James Cameron did a beautiful job with it. And you can see the light, you can see the light force starts coming in. So for me, I look at when I'm meditating, chanting, it's tuning in. So here's the thing, people don't understand. People think their answers are outside themselves, in other people, in a drug, in ayahuasca. Please don't do ayahuasca.
Really?
Please,
We were just talking about this morning how we wanted to go do it.
It's so
We were about ready to book a flight to Costa Rica.
I'm going to tell you guys something. I have a girlfriend.
Let's get it done. Let's see.
Here's the thing. You don't need to do that. If
I hear
people,
I hear even if you're spiritual and like you get more answers.
No.
No?
All you get, I have a girlfriend who was paralyzed
Maybe
and
this
blind.
is a sign. From ayahuasca?
For a week, sitting in a tent in Peru, paralyzed and blind for a week from ayahuasca. But here's the thing.
That's not a good trip you want to be on.
You can get more awareness. Here's the thing. There is the divine is in us. The secrets of the universe are flowing through the cells of our body. All we have to do is learn to tune into it, which is what I teach. I teach people how to do this. Go take a course. Instead of going to get ayahuasca, take one of my courses or come work with me. It literally is as simple as...
We can just connect to ourselves and get those answers?
But it's not like, you don't, it's like, oh, I'll connect to myself right now. It's a healing.
I wish it was that easy.
Because it's noisy. People are noisy and people have a lot
everywhere and noise and thoughts and too much food that affects our thoughts and stuff too, right?
But here's the thing. If you make the commitment, it's the process. But the secret is everything we want is within us. If we have the courage, instead of looking outside of ourselves, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? They ask other people. Nobody else can tell you what to do, like your own inner guidance, like your own soul.
That's how we screw up, asking other people, listening to what they think, and then...
So you learn how to tune in, because we're sitting on every answer we've ever wanted to ask ourselves. The answer is within us.
I just want all the answers.
You want to tune into it. So the secret is to learn how to begin to do that. Then you don't have to go outside yourself. What happens when you do that? Anxiety falls away, fear falls away, worry falls away, doubt falls away.
So we can just go inside.
You go within, and that's the process. And it's the process that it's available. Listen, I've done this my whole life, and I teach how to do this. And I just invite people to go and do it. If they want to do that with me, that's fantastic. I would love to work with you. But just begin the process. And if you're willing to do that, the right teacher shows up in the right way. You'll be guided to the right thing. But don't jump to, let's go do ayahuasca because Megan Fox said it was great. You know, it's like, you know, and nothing wrong with Megan Fox. She's gorgeous, she's beautiful, and she's a deep soul, and she's really intelligent. But she may not know that Dr. Elizabeth knows how to teach her how to do this in a way that is really deep. So if we can trust that, it's so much.
I think because we're all just looking for something that's
quick,
like instant. Ayahuasca is gonna give me all the downloads, and it's just going to stay there forever, change me.
Well, here's the thing.
It's easy.
They do it because they don't want to actually do the work to change. They don't want to start eating healthy. They don't want to start exercising. They don't want to shift the mindset. And so if you do all the practices, then what happens is that you'll begin to get, and once you, I'm telling you, once you start getting the answers, when you don't have to wait till there is no end. The end is, the end isn't even when we take our last breath, because we go on to the next adventure.
Transition.
But if you can just begin to take the first steps, what begins to happen is you get the awareness of, that feels really good. Okay, I can do a little bit more. I can do a little bit more. I always tell people my work is exponential. It doesn't go linearly like this. They do the first session and then we do the next. It moves like this because the reason for that and the nature for this is because the more awareness we get, the more awareness we get. So it doesn't work linearly, it's exponentially. It expands exponentially. So if we just take the first little baby step, then what happens is everything opens up for us.
Wow, beautiful, Elizabeth. And I feel like you are meant to be a speaker. You're not meant to be interviewing other people speaking. You're meant to do the speaking, I feel like.
Thank you for saying that. That means a lot to me. I really, really appreciate that a lot. And I want to share with you, when I was in grade school, I had an amazing teacher. And there were a handful of us who were just, I guess you would say, we were just interested in doing more things than just school. And so Marquette University had this event where people came and they did debate, they did prose, they did poetry, like spoken word, and then they had a category called original oratory, and you could write your own inspiring speeches, and that's what I did.
Wow.
When I was in grade school, and I loved it. It was like so amazing, like so fulfilling to me. So I was literally doing that, and I want to tell your audience what's important about that is people sometimes they might get nervous to think about what they're going to do or what they should do or something like that. Look at what you did when you're growing in your developmental years. Look at what you did, and because what you chose to do then, if you had the freedom to do it, your soul is showing you your path. Your soul is showing you your purpose. If you do that and look back at that as an adult, you can then be able to go back to that like I did.
Wow,
It's
beautiful. Okay.
It's really important.
I love that. Okay.
Okay, let me get water.
And okay. No, it's okay. Don't be sorry at all. Yeah. You're doing a lot of speaking. You need some water. It's a lot. Okay. And I was going to ask you too, like a few quick external tips, because I know it's from within, but is there any, like your hair is amazing, your skin's amazing, anything externally, any tips or?
I think a big part of that is what you put in your body, and it's what you put in your body for food. Of course, it makes all the difference in the world. And then what you put in your body energetically, what are you listening to? How are you, what kind? Because again, the cells of the body have intelligence, so they're going to respond. So all of these things play a huge part in not only how we feel, but how we look.
Yeah. So any tips for type of music? Because I listen to a lot of hip hop and I'm really trying to think I should listen to better lyrics. So any positive vibes music suggestions for us?
Gosh. Well, it's funny. I don't, in fact, my sweetheart we were having a conversation about this. I think music is beautiful.
You don't listen to music?
When I'm in the gym, I devour about 3 to 5 audiobooks a week.
Yeah.
Every single week. I have a collection of hundreds of audiobooks. So for me, I have that kind of mind that really loves to learn.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that music, podcasts and things like that.
Yeah.
But music is beautiful. There's so much beautiful music. Here's what I would say in answer to your question. How does that music make you feel? How do those lyrics make you feel? If those lyrics are harsh, if those lyrics are demeaning to women or demeaning to a certain group of people, if those lyrics are not life enhancing, then maybe, because remember, we're programming ourselves all the time. So what we're listening to, it's literally like you're literally programming yourself. So you want to look at what are we programming ourselves with. So
with everything, right?
With everything. So for me, I'm really intentional about what I put in my body all across the board.
Or who you're around, like as much as possible, right? Sometimes we can't help it. Some things come at us, but like people, everything, right?
Well, we can actually, because let's say you and I are standing here and someone comes over and it's foul, it's complaining, it's negative, it's just not good energy. Some people get stuck in that sometimes, and it's unconscious, and some people don't even know better. They don't even know they're stuck in this gossiping energy or negative energy or harsh energy or all these things, but doesn't mean we have to participate in. So you can very lovingly say, oh, you know what? I have a meeting. It was lovely to see you.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
Gotta go. Because a lot of times what people do is they're like, oh, I don't want them to feel badly. Oh, I don't want to say anything. And they end up staying in this energy that's very harsh.
And then it brings them down.
brings them down. And next thing you know, they're yelling at somebody. They turn around, they leave that energy where that person was harsh, and they turn around, and all of a sudden they're yelling, and they're like, I was feeling great today.
So how
Why
can
am
we
I
not
doing
judge in that situation? Because if we judge that person too and think, well, they're a lower frequency, like that's about, like, how can we stay in love, right? In that type of situation, around those types of people or energies.
So you don't judge. Remember, it's not about judging it. So if let's say someone comes over and it's negative and it's harsh and it's complaining. You don't have to judge at all. You can just observe compassionately. And let's say you're in a place where you can offer something, and you offer something like a condolence or like a word of encouragement, and they may hear it. They may, gosh, thank you so much. They may be receptive, depends. They may keep on spiraling. They may keep on throwing the energy back at you. You're not obligated to stay, but there doesn't have to be any judgment there. You can very compassionately be able to go, oh, that person's they're in their poo-poo right now. They're in some energy, and all you have to do is go, okay.
So compassion.
Compassion is the key. Compassion with everything. Compassion and love is the key with everything.
Okay. Well, and also we have a question from our last guest.
Okay. And who was the last guest?
So the last guest, I don't know if it'll be in order of the video that this was at. Yeah, so she was, here we go. So what would be a simple and quick tip you would give a normal person with a regular diet to try switch to the raw vegan diet? That's perfect, because you're raw.
It's perfect.
I don't know if you go by raw vegan, like the labels.
It's interesting. We talked about labels in a past interview. We did talk about that. Yeah. But and you are so smart. You are smart as a whip.
Thanks.
You're
Thanks.
Really smart. You remember everything I say.
I remember everything. I listen.
Everything.
Yeah, I have to. Imagine I was in an interview, I didn't listen. I'm like, oh yeah, well, really? Are you raw? No. It's important.
And you do a really good job with it.
Yeah.
So you're welcome.
Yeah.
So it's a great question, and I love this question. So to answer with your comment, I think of myself as I eat in the way that's nutrient dense. Every meal I have, I think, how can I get the most amount of rich nutrients in my body? That's kind of how I look at it. And I also like, sometimes I'll use the term mostly nutrient rich, but also I'll say, that's what I really use most. I mean, sometimes plant-based, but there's just so much judgment about it. That's why I kind of got away from it, because there is so much judgment
about
it.
It makes sense. Yeah, there is, with the different labels and all the different diet communities. I get it. That's why I like how some people go by flexitarian. They're just like, you don't even know. They're just or I guess that's another label. No, I like nutrient.
I just think in terms of getting the most nutrients, and those nutrients
Let's get those nutrients.
And here's the thing, those nutrients, when I consume them, are pure, in which case they're not heated, they're not denatured in any single way, they're just the most, like, I'm not going to take chlorella and put it in the oven. This oven doesn't even work.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. I don't,
it's
no, you suit the high vibe, high raw lifestyle. I can't see you on another lifestyle. You're such a high frequency, and those foods are high frequency. Even when you look at the energy frequency, like the Kirlian photography that captures the aura of like the apple compared to the piece of meat. The apple is like vibrating so high, and the piece of meat is like dull and lifeless, right? You are that vibration, so it makes sense you consume that.
Because it comes literally, if you take an apple and you pick it from the tree, and then you eat it, right? If you did the test with the apple, you just picked it from the tree, it's going to still be really alive, like alive. So it has all the it has literally all the nutrients and all the energy from the cosmos in the universe.
Wow.
Beating down. Let's say this is the apple right here. Beating down on it. Then you have all the energy from Mother Earth. All, like, not just the nutrients, the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. It has all the energy from Mother Earth coming up into it. And you pick that just like that, and then you eat that. You've just put a lot of life force into your body.
Versus, the factory food that's
versus the other.
Not rocking that stuff.
It's a big difference.
So any tips for somebody who,
I love this question. It's a really good question. So I would say the biggest secret is when you first wake up. Changes happen the best when you first wake up in the morning. You come fresh out of the divine. You come fresh out of sleep. It's when you haven't had the noise of the world bombarding you. And then I would say, before you had the coffee or the muffin or the croissant or the donut or the bacon and eggs or whatever, have a green juice. And I would say to them, if it's someone who's now eating a very standard American diet, I would say make sure they put an apple in it, because it's going to have to have some sweetness to it, because otherwise it's not going to be tolerated.
True.
Listen, most people don't go from 0 to 150.
No.
They just don't. I did, but most people don't do that.
No,
Like,
you're not going to go
you're not
dandelion
gonna-
greens, collard, all the,
Simple.
put in the apple.
Spinach and, some of the
Lemon,
greens.
apple, kale,
The
lemon,
biggest
apple.
thing is the ginger.
Okay.
If they like ginger and they tolerate ginger, because the ginger will give you a kick. It's great for your immune system, and it mimics the kick of a coffee. So they're less likely. I always tell people that are wanting to give up coffee, have a green juice with ginger, because that kick is very similar. The kick of coffee, I've never had coffee, but I've been told that kick of coffee is very similar to the kick of ginger. So if you have the kick of ginger,
green juice and coffee, it is similar.
so if you have that, what happens then is they have that. They're more likely to make a healthier choice after having that.
I agree.
Because what goes with the cigarette? A glass of alcohol.
Yeah.
What goes with the green juice? Going to the gym or yoga or Pilates. They just, certain things go together. So you're more likely, you feel so good, you're more likely to have something else that's healthy if you do that. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, one last thing.
Okay.
One last thing for me. Any keys to the great hair? Do you think there's certain foods, or is it all just the radiance and the happy vibes?
So I want to be because I think it's really important for people to be transparent about everything. I'm Italian, and I come from a family where we have enough hair for 5 people. It's just I have a lot of hair, and I have thick curly hair, and so I don't necessarily have good skin. Like, I've had to work on my skin. I've really worked hard on my skin. I wouldn't say, I've seen women like you see J-Lo and some of these women like, Beyonce.
Yeah.
Just
what? Yeah.
gorgeous. They were blessed with gorgeous skin. And so
Your skin is nice though, Elizabeth, and your neck.
Thank you.
Your skin is nice.
I take good care of it. Like, this has been a lot of work. This hasn't been a lot of work.
Yeah.
This is just, God gave this to me. So I want to, in full transparency, say with the hair, it's a lot of, I have really thick curly hair, but there are a lot of things. And if you want, like, I can give some beauty tips, like if you want. There's some products, I'm not sponsored by them, but I'm happy to share. One of the things that I do is I take certain supplements that grow your hair, and they really, really work.
Which one? Someone might ask. Or I'll add it after.
Yes, because off the top of my head, I just take them. So I don't.
Okay.
I know BioSil is one that's really, really good. There's a couple of them that are really, really good. But
And I think the
BioSil's
green
one.
juice helps too, because I see people, long-term green juice drinkers, their hair is really healthy. So.
Oh yeah. It definitely, because my hair grows. Like the girl who cuts my hair said, my hair grows over it's average half an inch a month.
Is it?
And at 65, my hair is growing more. My hair is growing almost like it's almost 3/4 of an inch a month.
That's incredible. I love that.
So it really, how you're nourishing yourself does make a difference.
It makes a big difference.
Then there's a product called 𝒔𝒑𝒄𝒄. I don't know if you've ever seen it on Instagram. And it's an infrared helmet that you put on your head, and the infrared
makes the hair follicles grow?
It stimulates the mitochondria, which then helps with the hair follicles, which helps with the hair growth.
Okay, amazing. Well, any last words? This has been so nice. I love you.
God, I love
and we're
you
gonna
too,
get in the
sweetheart.
kitchen next and in the gym. So I don't know if we'll do reels or videos. So subscribe on here in case we post them as videos.
Okay.
And check out both our Instagrams. And Elizabeth, you have a great Instagram. You're blowing up.
Thank you.
This time last year, I think she was at 20K on Instagram. Now she's at what, 250, 225?
I'm at 230,
Yeah. Any secrets for somebody who
232.
wants to grow?
One, be yourself. I would say really,
that's a
really
key.
be yourself. 2, find the place, find what it is you want to give, and then really just share. Because that's all I do. Like people want to hear, they want to see tips on being healthy, fit, and strong, and they want to see inspiration. Because so many people are saying that they're old and that they're getting old and all that kind of stuff. And so they like seeing someone 65 who's living a vibrant life.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, like for you, look at how beautiful your Instagram. Congratulations
Thanks.
at being over 100K.
Thanks, yeah.
Remember last year we talked about that?
Yeah, we
both
did.
wanted to be over that.
And I love how
huge.
you still dress so fabulous at this age, you know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, why should you who put the rule in place? I have to cut my hair at 40 or 35 or whenever. And here's the thing. My mother was a stunningly beautiful and elegant woman. She had her hair short her whole life, but it looked amazing on her. So when Halle Berry rocks a beautiful,
some people totally
but it's more about
being you, right?
It's more about your own expression. I like my long hair. It's fun for me. I enjoy it. So why would I don't think I'm ever going to cut it. but I would never cut it because someone told me I have to be age appropriate and cut it. Someone was telling me, there was somebody on my YouTube channel. It was my video I posted. I think it has like over 500,000 views. It was me dancing with one of my dance partners, Michael. And we were dancing, have this fabulous dance. And he said, this person said, you should be ashamed of yourself. You're a doctor. You shouldn't dress like that. And you shouldn't dance like that.
Jeez, the kind of world we live in, eh? Wow.
But here's the thing. So a couple of things. One, I was like, bless him.
Let it go, right?
Let it go. Don't pay
on to those
attention.
things. You just
don't
let
pay
them slide,
attention.
let them go, yeah.
But that's the key for other people is you don't have to listen to that noise. It's just because there's no hard and fast rule about how you express yourself, how you dress, how you look, how you wear your hair, how you wear whatever you feel comfortable with is what is your perfect creative expression.
Do what feels best for you, unapologetically, right?
Unapologetic.
Yeah.
That's the thing, never apologize.
Yeah.
Never
Well, you're the queen. Thanks for coming on. I admire you so
love
much.
you, sweetheart.
Energy like I've never seen, honestly. And that's like, we want to live like this when we're 65.
Right? At any age.
Unbelievable. Because it's not the norm. So the raw foods, the positive lifestyle, the fitness, everything. Yeah. Okay. So follow Elizabeth. Follow
Please
his
come
channel.
say hi. Yes.
Yeah. I'll put all the links down below. Her
Thank
books,
you.
her courses. Go grab them. Do a
Yes.
consult with her. Clear that negative energy.
Yes,
Let's live our
yes.
best life. Go eat more raw, living plant foods. And we love you guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Love
Bye.
you. Ciao.